I get the question all the time, and I want to ask you this question as well. Is say that someone is brand new to flight sim. They've never had a flight sim in their life. Maybe they're, yeah, I would start there. Never had a flight sim before, and they come to you and they're like, hey man, uh, I'm looking to get in the flight sim. I like what you do, but I'm not sure if I should get Microsoft Flight Sim or if I should get X-Plane. Uh, what, and they're new. They don't, this person doesn't really know what much about aviation. They're not some pilot coming from, hey, I want to do some recurring. Like, no, they're just like, hey, I think I'm interested in aviation, but I want to try the flight sim. Which one would you recommend?
My recommendation is, okay, tell me what it is you're looking for from flight sim. Is it something that you can come home in the evenings, jump in front of, load up a flight and go? Then it's Microsoft. End of story. Like I can't, because the other option is, are you trying to build hours? Are you trying to build up for real world flying? Now, here's a sim that's not going to look good graphically compared to the other. However, there are certain things you can practice in the sim because of the flight model being better. And I know you guys say, "Oh, Microsoft flight model is just as good." No, it's not. This is what I've heard from real world pilots, that they would rather train in X-Plane, but they still choose Microsoft because the whole pie, everything just fits good. So if you just want to get on recreational and spend a couple hours in the evening when you come from work, Microsoft Flight Sim. You understand? X-Plane, it's going to require you to put in some time to update some few things like plugins and so forth to get it to a level where you will be satisfied with it. And one is ortho. Like, yes, ortho is one. You understand? And you can work with sim. And also, again, I will keep saying, there are people who cannot play Microsoft Flight Sim because they don't have a PC. They
Hmm.
have a Mac.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't forget about the Mac
yeah.
people. That's the only choice they have. And we should not just say X-Plane should die, like I'd see all the comments. X-Plane should go away. Why they even bother? No, there's people who have Linux and Macs that don't have a PC, can't play Microsoft Flight Sim. That is their choice. So yes, they should still develop X-Plane. They should keep it around. They should put tons of add-ons into it and should keep working on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to enjoy it when the planes come in X-Plane, go, oh, look at this. Let me see what
Hmm.
it does in X-Plane. I am going to enjoy it. I'm still enjoying it. You understand? But, just if you're fresh to it, you have a PC, there we go. That's it. That's the choice. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, Now, there are some people come to me and go, but man, I cannot give up my MD-11. I can't give up my A300. There's certain planes that X-Plane still have that Microsoft don't have and probably won't get for a while, that people love to fly
Yeah.
in it. You know what I mean? And they're used to what X-Plane is. They're like, nah, I'm not giving that up. You know what I mean? I love having both sims around, just put it that way. If there's just one sim around, then it's like you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah.
When one sim does something good, you're like, okay, I wish the other person adopts that, and vice
Hmm.
versa. So,
Yeah.
but that would be my advice for it.
Yeah, I actually agree and disagree. I agree that it depends on what the person wants in a simming experience. What is their end goal? What do they actually want to sim for? Uh, in my scenario here, I'm thinking, all right, so this person is brand new. They don't know much about aviation. There could be at any age, but they don't know much about aviation, so they don't know what they don't know, right? And if you try X plane, then you don't know. You're gonna probably love it. Honestly, you'll try X plane. It's your first flight sim, like this is amazing. It looks great. Scenery is, you might even think the scenery is good because you just don't know what you don't know, right? But a lot of times, I honestly right now my go-to recommendation is Microsoft Flight Sim, even for training. I've actually changed my answer. I used to say, hey, if you're trying to train to be a real world pilot, do private pilots and commercial whatnot, I recommend trying X plane. I don't say it anymore. Not that I don't think it's good. I think it is still good. But when you're going through your training, Microsoft has what you need. Technically, they have the six pack gauges, which you got to get used to because I mean you can't ever be 100% prepared to fly a real plane. But as long as it has the gauges you need to familiarize yourself with how attitude works, vertical speed, all that stuff like that, and even have a friend of mine right now who's going through flight training, and he actually uses Microsoft Flight Sim to help him because he's training with the G1000. which could be even more valuable now that they've had the avionics upgrade. I know, honestly, X-Plane I think had a better G1000 before. I'm not really sure. I haven't compared them. But the point is, he's using that in that specific thing, that just the G1000. He's not even really flying. He's just using the avionics to help him understand how to use avionics in the plane in real life. And another reason why I prefer or would recommend Microsoft Flight Sim for training is because when you go through your training in real world, you start off as you know, doing your private pilot lesson. You start off flying VFR, and with VFR, one of the biggest important things about VFR is not hitting the ground, staying away from traffic, and staying away from clouds. And in X plane, they've upgraded the clouds. That's good. That's make sure that's the right finger. They've upgraded the clouds, and so that's fine. It's just the VFR part, right? You don't have. You can say, all right, well, there's a street here, but you need to understand and get familiar with flying by visual references from the
Right.
ground. And that's something that you can't do in an X-plane that well, unless you have some special scenery pack or you download Ortho, which you can do it in that way. But that's the reason why I recommend Microsoft. I also recommend Microsoft to really beginners who may not be ready to do flight training just yet, because the fact that Microsoft, I feel like it's easier to get into, right? Like the barrier is less if you're on Xbox or on PC. Again, if Mac, you're just it's X-plane no matter what. But it's just easy to get into. It's easier to download. Well, not easier to download, but it's easier to set up. It's easier to get the controls. You know, it's just it helps you. There's a lot more assistance. You know what I mean? Like so, for a very new beginner person, I recommend Microsoft License.
So basically, you're saying that the advantages that X-Plane did have at some point, if any, is now gone. There's really
I
no
would say they're gone.
main
They're just I would
benefit.
say neutralized. I think that's a good. I think that's a good one. Neutralized.